Live from Irving, Texas, it's Build the Clock Hour. Oh, sorry. Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to this fun and festive Ask an Engineer. We're here every single week. Here at Adafruit Industries, I am Lady Ada, and with me is Mr. Lady Ada.
Hello.
I'm the engineer, and he's the person who's going to bail me out of prison.
That's right.
We're here in Manhattan.
Apparently engineering is a very dangerous profession right now.
We have all sorts of liquids that we're drinking. We got an exciting show for you tonight with all sorts of news, new products, and clock designs. Tell them what's on tonight's show.
On tonight's show, the code is not a bomb. All the electronics you buy in our store are not bombs. So we're going to do a code 10% off all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Everything except for gift certificates.
There's tons of stuff in the Adafruit store that is not a bomb.
Correct. It's in the not a bomb category.
Pretty much 100%. Yeah. Actually, it's 100%. There is no bomb making supplies.
There's not. Show and tell. People around the world show and share their electronic projects, including clock. Mailbag. People around the world also send us letters. We read them. Adafruit Jobs Board, the best place online to post your skills, or if you're a company, find makers. Wearables. I'm going to show off an upcoming product that we're going to stock.
Ooh, wearables.
3D printing. We got a great video from Noah and Pedro. New products. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to have a top secret, amazing thing. Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's so secret.
We're going to have a trivia question, all that and more on, you guessed it, Ask an Engineer. All right, Lady Ada. So that's what's going on.
Okay.
We are going to start the show.
Okay.
First, let's pay some bills. Like I said, the code is not a bomb. It's 10% off all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Please use it.
Do we have any sort of sponsorship or advertisements or companies that give us money?
No, Adafruit is 100% supported by you, the community out there. So when you buy a kit and you purchase something from us, that's what pays the bills here. It pays all the people that we have. They have health benefits and 401ks and families and all that stuff. So that's what your money goes towards. Also, the occasional legal defense fund. And so that's how we are supported. We don't take sponsorships. We don't have loans. We don't have venture capital. That means that we can pretty much say and do what we want. And what we want to do is do cool projects and make cool electronics and help people out there. A couple other little bits of store stuff. $200 or more for UPS ground. That's reliable tracking shipping. $100 or more, you get a free Adafruit Perma Proto. If you're in Manhattan, we're still doing same day. That's working out great. That means if you are in Manhattan in a select number of zip codes, which is most of Manhattan, before 11 a.m., you can get your order delivered same day, just like the big guys, like the Amazons and the Googles and the Instacarts.
And people do it, and it's great.
People do it. Yeah, it works out great. Okay. And just a reminder, you're watching Ask an Engineer. We do this every single Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've been doing this for 6 years. And then we have the Show and Tell, which is 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've been doing that for 4 years on Google Hangout. That brings me to the next section of the show. Show and Tell, Lady Ada.
Yes.
Who was on the Show and Tell, and what type of clock did they show this week?
I will tell you all about the Show and Tell, which had no bombs. Start off with Tony Nicola from Adafruit Northwest. He built a GPS clock in honor of Ahmed. It is a beautiful clock with our large 7-segment display, like the really big one. Safety green. He put it in an Adafruit box and wrote not a bomb on it. And he used a GPS, so it has actually the exact time in Texas. And here it is. It's an awesome demo. He'll be writing it up as well, because it's actually a project people have asked us, like, hey, I want to make a GPS clock. Not too hard. Get an Arduino, a 7-segment display, and a GPS, and you can have like basically atomic precision time, which is super great. So thanks, Tony, and look for that tutorial. Noe and Pedro also came by. They're from Adafruit Southeast, and they showed off a update project from last year's Celestron Telescope iPhone mods. This is a mod that lets you take these really cool telescopes for people who like to look at the sky. And the sun is a bomb.
Yes, it's a very large
Don't look at
one,
this.
Constantly, always, times billions and billions of atoms.
Yeah, don't look at the sun with this, but you can look at the moon, and people like to look at Jupiter. I think Jupiter and the moon are like the most popular things people look at.
Yeah.
I mean, can you see Mars with it? I mean, I guess so.
You can, it's just small, yeah.
Jupiter. Look at the moon, and so they show how you can 3D print a new, nicer case for the new iPhones, and you can use time lapse to make these beautiful time lapse of the moon or
Whatever else.
whatever other starscapes you want to do. So check that out next week. And then tomorrow is the key charging stand for iPhones or for Android devices or Nexus, anything with Qi charging built in, which is a standard for wireless charging. So thank you, Tony and Noe and Pedro. Danielle came by. He has a working mic. He has a Raspberry Pi. He has a really cute bunny, and he has a 10 gigabyte drive, which he said was really old.
Yeah.
He's young, so it's okay. I mean, 10 gigabytes is still not so bad, but I remember 10 megabyte drives. And he wants to do wearable projects, and he made a Lego revolver that he's working on, so he's doing some Lego physics projects. So he's got some cool stuff going on in school. He's going to come by and show off more of his school projects soon. Lally is working on a NeoPixel sound reactive pendant that's kind of based off of, looks like our NeoPixel tie, as well as the drum kit that we did, the NeoPixel drum kit. So it's sound reactive, and he wants to give it to his brother who plays drums. So he's working on that. He's working on the 3D printing part of it. Gonna get that working. Aiden, who's been doing lots of soft robotics projects, came by, and he's doing new concepts in soft robotics. This time he's got silicone casting, which he's been doing for all of his soft robot projects. And this time he's casting discs, but he casts half the disc and then embeds NeoPixels and like other wires and sensors and stuff inside of it, and then casts the rest of the disc. And he says he can make a fully waterproof, flexible, diffusing rubber NeoPixel lighting thing. And he's just saying it's worked out really, really well. So he's learning a lot about NeoPixel and silicone casting, which is great. It's like if you're going to do robots, having silicone, which is protective and flexible, is a great material.
I like watching all of his projects because you can see a progression. For you and I.
Yeah, it's like weekly soft bot update.
Well, he's also a young person in school, and you can see him growing up and learning and building and sharing. We're the same, but it's cool. Like, it's neat. Like his projects are getting more complex. And
the thing is like the hardest part of doing science is just doing it every week, and he does it every week. Every week, he's like, I'm doing a new experiment with self robotics.
Yeah,
he's ahead of like most PhDs.
Yeah, we get asked a lot, what's the challenge of running a business? Do you have any advice? It's silly to say, but just show up every week. And you see on our show and tell, people who consistently come back, you can tell like they're the ones that are inventing the future because they're doing something every single day. Something every single week. The chain never breaks.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Chain of X's. Okay. And then Richard made an Adafruit I/O project using a Huzzah ESP8266 board, and he's working on making a tennis court detector because they have a tennis court that they want. Like, you want to be able to tell if somebody's at the court or if it's free.
Yeah,
and so he's working on that, but he's starting with a door detector for his hackerspace. So they've got a sonar. They hooked it up to Adafruit I/O, and so they can have a Wi-Fi sonar detector tells you if somebody has opened the door or if the door's open. So it works pretty well. Marcel came by to say hello and tell us how awesome our Class D Max 977, our Maxim Max 9744 20 watt Class D amplifier breakout is. It's an awesome amp. It's like pretty small, does stereo 20 watt amplification. It's I2C controllable. It's like a pretty sweet breakout. Thanks, Marcel. He's going to come back and show more of his project as he builds it.
Yeah, great.
And then C. Scott is working on a quality modular set for people to build that where he wants to make every module. I think he said it was about $15.
Yeah.
I think it's 15, not 50, but we'll find out, I guess. Basically, it's like trying to design a set of classic modules for people who like to build modulars. Looks great. Just came by, played some soothing music. Said NobCon was great.
Yeah, and he also, I know C. Scott considered himself an old timer. He looks good.
He doesn't look a day over 25.
But he was talking about how the engineering community is a very interesting community because they don't really care about all the things that other industries do. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, your background, gender, race, religion, doesn't matter. Engineer good stuff. And he was talking about that a little bit, so I thought that was pretty cool. And when you see, his stuff, like it gets used by everyone. In fact, one of the reasons that you do electronics is because of something he made.
Yeah.
Which was a PSP mod chip.
Yeah, also completely illegal.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't at the time.
there wasn't laws yet that they
Yeah, there
like
was-
Sony.
The DMCA did not exist yet.
Sony didn't know what to hate.
So it was illegal to pirate games, but it wasn't illegal to make and distribute code to make mod chips or sell mod chips that would let you run pirated copies. It's very interesting. Yeah.
So, anyways, so I thought that was pretty cool. All right, all participants on the show and tell get as seen on the show and tell sticker, Lady Ada. People are probably asking, how do I get one of these cool show and tell stickers? How do I get on the show and tell?
I'm sure you would like to go on the show and tell and show off your clock project. You can do that every single week at 7:30
From the comfort of home.
Eastern time, from the comfort of home in your pajamas. To do that, get your Google Plus account and go to plus.google.com/+Adafruit and look for the thread with AdaBot saying comment here to get added to the show and tell circle. Make a comment there saying something like, I would like to show off my clock project on the next show and tell. That way we know you're not a spammer. We will right click your avatar, add you to the circle, and you will get invited along with 500, 600 other people every week to our show and tell at 7:30. Now remember, we do invite about 600 people at once, and Google isn't really used to doing that, and so it might take a little bit of time for you to get your invite. So please be ready at 7:30 p.m. So take a couple minutes for you to get the invite. As soon as you get it, click it and join in. We do fill up fast. If you don't get in, try again next week. We only have 9 slots available. Like it's Google. It's free. It's a Google Hangout. It's like, well, you get what you pay for.
Yeah. Not only does it fill up fast, but I'm fill up fast.
You are fill up fast. You're fill fast.
Today I was really fast. I had to do a bunch of stuff today. Okay. Let's keep going. All right. Pack the mailbag. Stopping by every week. Hi, I'm going to read you a letter. So we read these emails that you send to us about the stuff we get right, and sometimes even feedback, to our entire team at our weekly meeting called State of the Fruit, where we have everyone come together. And this is a segment of the show where we read these things to you as well. So this is from Ken. Ken says, Adafruit has the best customer service and the best customer service representative that I've ever dealt with. Best regards, Ken. Short and sweet. Thank you so much, Ken. Yeah, and thank you to the community support and publishing team at Adafruit.
Doing the best. Who
pretty much take care of things 24/7. It's amazing.
Yep.
We answer hundreds of emails a day.
Send an email about a replacement order at Sunday at 8 p.m. You will get a reply in under 10 minutes.
Yeah, it happens. All right.
Do it.
Adafruit Jobs Board. Adafruit.com/jobs is where you can post your skills if you're a maker, or if you're a company, you can post what you're looking for. And we've successfully played matchmaker with hundreds of people. And you and I approve these. There's no paying for it. There's no headhunters. There's no scam. There's no spam. We're picky. So this week that I'm going to read is a cool job. This is in New York. This is a pro maker project designer teacher, and this is Technicio Designs. Engineers produces educational kits that show you how to combine craft and electronics to reimagine your world. So what they're looking for is someone to teach at museums, schools, researching new content, communicating with customers, updating social media and blog. They have requirements, bonus points, and job details. This is a really cool job. I'd like to get this job. And I think that's pretty neat. So Adafruit.com.
New York, center of the hardware world.
Universe? No. Okay. All right. So next up, gonna do a little bit of a recap. This was a anniversary date. This was September 11th. Last week, it was Friday. And for a lot of us, particularly if you're an early Adafruit person, we grew up in the shadow of Ground Zero. It was not there. And the building... there was no Freedom Tower.
There was a very succinct example of what it was there. It was not there.
It was not there. No, it's like
it was a gigantic hole.
No, there used to be 2 buildings. I was in New York on September 10th, and I left on a flight.
Good timing.
Didn't mean to, and actually my boss had stayed behind, and he had to run to Brooklyn and rented a car to drive to Minnesota. That's where I was living at the time. And anyways. So Adafruit has been or was in the financial district up until very recently, 7 years.
Yeah.
And you and I had our apartment there, and then we grew Adafruit.
Here's a secret: the rent was really cheap.
The rent was really cheap. No one wanted to live there. It was a kind of an economically depressed area. It was kind of crummy.
Tons of construction.
And we took a risk, And so about 5 years ago, we filmed this commercial ad-like thing for you to apply for entrepreneurs. So you can see the Trade Center wasn't finished yet. And we went to we went on September 11th down there just to pay our respects. And you can see it's finished. This is in the same spot. And it's beautiful. And, you know,
yeah, I don't even have a photo. I don't have a photo of that area. I mean, I remember it was empty when we moved in.
She had pink hair back then too. So it was slow. The rebuild was really slow. It was a little frustrating at times, but it taught us an interesting lesson. You can kind of recover from anything. You can get together, and eventually things will work out. You just have to kind of never give up. Be excellent to each other. That area has grown quite a bit. We still have a lot of friends there. It's coming back.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's a New York story.
There's still a ton of construction there.
Yeah,
but like 4 gigantic buildings have come up. Not just the Freedom Tower, but around in that area.
Yeah, and thank you everyone who supported us. I mean, we were a little tiny kitchen table company, and we were in the financial district, and it was weird, and we had a live workspace, and it was in our living room. And for us, that area and September 11th in the Trade Center means a lot. So we talked about it with our staff. We had a couple photos of some of our early employees. We only had like 4 or 5 people. We were all in the kitchen. And anyways, it was kind of neat. So that being said, today we can't avoid the news which came up. So we're in a post 9/11 world, and occasionally adults make mistakes. And today a mistake happened, and we heard about it.
No,
so Ahmed Mohammed got arrested. This is a young person. He is in the 9th grade, and he made a clock and brought it to school and showed it to his teacher, and apparently the teacher didn't like it. He is in robotics classes, and there's photos of him online with his other schoolmates who do robotics. He's an engineer. He wants to go to MIT. And there he is in cuffs, and he's in the NASA meatball shirt, which is an excellent shirt.
Classic.
And last night I got an email from someone, and I scour the news, and I had just seen this. And I wrote about it, and when we write about stuff like this on our site, anytime we have an opinion or think about something, there's always someone who is just angry and just mean. And I thought this was important for us to cover. So Adafruit was one of the first sites to break the story. We wrote about this, and then in the morning when I woke up, I just saw the world erupted with support for Ahmed. And you can see he's getting arrested here, and they didn't really do the right thing. They saw that he made a clock. They acknowledged it was a clock. They agreed that he told everybody it was a clock. He does electronics. And so what they did is they arrested him, but they dropped the charges. During the day, something interesting happened. This is a tweet from the President of the United States. Cool clock, Ahmed. Want to bring it to the White House. We should inspire more kids like you to do science. It's what makes America great. So that's how fast it happened. And you and I kind of get bummed out about like some of the social media stuff sometimes because people use it as a negative force. Mm-hmm. But this was really used as a positive force. A lot of people, I mean, there were still kind of some jerks and and we banned them, right. Blocked. So it can be used for a positive force. So everyone gathered together, and so he did a little press conference. We posted it on our site. Follow the hashtag on our blog. I stand with Ahmed, and you'll see all the posts as the story evolved through the day. It looks like it's resolved now. Yeah. We'll find out, but we'll see. So anyways, that's the news of the day. Those events are linked. Unfortunately, I think the kid, because of who he was and his name and what he was doing, got treated differently, and it's a little bit of a shame. Irving, Texas has a huge opportunity to show that they're not like this. And
I mean, he was only born like a couple years after 9/11.
Yeah.
He's like 16, right? So
yeah.
that's like 16, 15 years ago.
Yeah. So I think, this is, never let a crisis go to waste. It's an opportunity for the school district to be number one in electronics, to show him that they're proud of him and he's doing electronics. Have this kid
it's not fair. Like everything, because of the way like popular media displays electronics and bombs. Like bombs don't actually look anything like a clock. They look like, and this is really unfortunate, but like whenever you hear of bombings, it's always something like the Boston Marathon bombing, where it's just like they take explosives or they take fertilizer, or they make a pipe bomb or they make a pressure cooker bomb. That's how, if people are going to have terrorism on American soil, it's not going to be like high-tech C4. That's not how it works.
Well, it's not going to be a ninth grader making a clock saying, "Here's my clock." That's not how it looks.
That's not how it looks, and all it does is create this like cycle of ignorance where it's like, oh, well, you should know that looks like a bomb. It doesn't look anything like it. People should, get educated that's not what explosives look like. It looks like a backpack that has been left in the corner of a train station. That is what a bomb looks like. Yeah. It doesn't look like this.
And so he's still suspended. I'm hoping that they make an announcement, and he's not suspended anymore. And here's the opportunity. So if you're in Irving, Texas, or if you look at our post, you can write to the principal, give him a call, give him a fax. Maybe here's a chance to make things right and show that, hey, mistakes can happen. Here's how you rectify them. This kid has only been around the planet for a few years. This is a huge event in his life. Why don't you show what adults can do when stuff like this happens? Okay, so next up, I have some open source hardware news.
Yay!
Yeah, more clocks now. So this weekend is the Open Hardware Summit. Adafruit is a sponsor. Check it out. It's in Philly. Go to OH Summit and look at the speaker lineup. Look at all the people there. If you can get there, get there. Next up in open source hardware news, Lady Ada, congratulations. You were on the cover of The Institute, one of the largest and most respected magazines. It's from IEEE. I remember...
I'm an IEEE member.
You're an IEEE member. I remember when some people said you weren't a real engineer. Now you're on the cover of the magazine.
For engineers.
For engineers. So you're done.
At least one of the E's in IEEE is for engineering. I don't remember which one.
So congratulations. From what I looked up, this is the first and only open source hardware company, who's made it to the cover of this. Now, speaking of covers, if you go on the fashion newsstands, there's a magazine called Untitled. And Untitled, they have multiple covers. And on page 56, here's Lady Ada. You are in a fashion magazine for their Girl Power edition. Woo!
I'm wearing all the wearables I can.
The complete spectrum of the two.
I think both photos are okay.
Yeah, they're great. So congratulations, you bringing open source hardware to many different places.
Engineering and fashion magazines.
Just a little bit of an update. We've been doing from the desk of Lady Ada, we're using open broadcast software, and it's called OBS. And we're able to have the webcam on your desk, and then you're doing live EagleCAD explanations of what you're doing. Look for it on Twitter. We use Periscope, and we also use youtube.com/adafruit/live.
I do like prototype bring-ups, debugging, getting angry at ARM tool chains. That's about half of the time I spend. Soldering, all sorts of stuff. We have screencasts now. It's totally raw and unscripted reality engineering TV, which is mostly me just being like, why isn't this working? Okay, let me try something else. Let me try to get scope cam.
So we do this every few nights. It's completely random, but just check Twitter, check Periscope, which is on Twitter, and then it's on YouTube. If you subscribe to our channel, you get an alert. Just to give you an idea of some statistics, 328 viewers, 274 viewers. It's working out. Here's another screenshot.
And so I did a full layout, and I talked about how you design a buck converter, and like how did I took a prototype and finished the design up, and I showed like how do I design the breakout. So if you're ever wondering, why on earth did she do that with a breakout board? I'll set off live.
Okay, so that's working out. All right, next up, I'm still just getting through the news tonight. We have a Halloween contest. It's a prop contest with Instructables. Go to Instructables and check it out. We are a media sponsor for Maker Faire, so that means we're doing lots of posts. You will see us doing lots of posts at Maker Faire, about Maker Faire, leading up to Maker Faire, so check that out now. We are doing a meetup on September 24th, 2015 at Micro Center at the Brooklyn Gowanus Expressway 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., you'll be able to meet the Adafruit team. And Atmel, they'll have the Atmel truck. And this Atmel truck has actually made the rounds. Here it is in front of the White House. Showing off some clocks. Other places, it's made the rounds. And so we'll be there next week, September 24th, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Be there. Yeah.
Or be square.
Yeah. Next week is a big week for Ask an Engineer and open source hardware. We will have Eric Pan, the founder and CEO of Seed Studios, here. You'll be interviewing him here on Ask an Engineer. Here.
Yeah. We talked to him all about stuff Seed's doing. They're doing social partnerships. They do a lot of Kickstarters. They have tons of people. There's always excitement going on there. I really dig them. They're always doing something cool, and I'm always really inspired. So they'll also be talking about a future Kickstarter project that is not yet announced. So if you want to hear about their next big project,
okay,
watch the show next week.
Breaking news: the BBC is reporting that Ahmed is changing schools. I'm just getting this live from the feed here.
Okay.
From the people in the chat.
Maybe live from the chat. I mean, it also might not be true.
It might not be true. No, I'm just look. Most of the time when I turn into the news, it's not true anyways. Like, I turned into the news and they're like breaking news, and it wasn't what was going on.
Well, I hope he gets. I hope he goes to a really good school with like a program that has.
Yeah, he wants to go to MIT after.
Well, he can go to MIT.
Pretty good resume.
Look, they let me in.
All right.
I didn't even build clocks in high school.
But once you got in there, you made something, and they accused you of making a bomb.
That's true. A good tradition.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So some news in the world of Arduino. We like to check in every single week with ourselves.
Phil, are we making Arduinos?
We are making Arduinos. And while
you know what I should show up next week? Remind me, I'll show off the Mega Tester.
Okay.
That's done.
All right. We're about to go into manufacturing for Mega.
Mega manufacturing is in progress. So that's next.
And so while we cannot talk about the number of Arduinos that are made here in the US, Arduino has asked us not to. We can tell you they're agonized over by goths in New York City. But what we will say is we are making a lot more, and a lot more. We're making a lot more.
Shipping every week. We shipped some this week. We shipped some last week. Every week.
And here's a special request and favor that we'd like to ask you. If you see Arduinos from arduino.org in the USA and you see someone from arduino.org, please tell them do not sell them in the US. That is not ideal for anyone. They should not be doing that. They're not the Arduino in the US. There's a bunch of stuff going on between the two entities. It's a little weird, but if it's in the US, it should say arduino.cc. Those are the ones that Adafruit makes, the ones that arduino.cc wants you to buy. So please just do them. Do us a favor and do them a favor, because if they're told that, maybe they won't do that, and it won't be confusing because it's a little confusing right now. Okay, yeah. So here we go, Lady Ada. Oh look, the text got small. What happened here?
That's awesome.
That's the only thing that didn't.
That's so cute.
I don't like that so much.
No, I like it. Can you make it even smaller?
No, why would it do that? I don't like this at all.
Are you like trying to get the font bigger?
Yeah, no.
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 No. Not working.
No. Not.
Well, I can just read it off.
Anyways, we have 846 tutorials. Why would it do that? Okay.
That's funny.
This week in Adafruit Learning System, the best system online to learn electronics. This is the 3D printed key wireless charger.
Yeah, this is the little charger project that's going to be shown off tomorrow on 3D Thursday, every Thursday at 3 p.m. with Noah and Pedro. This is a 3D printed Qi wireless charging stand. What's cool is we have these little Qi like transmitters that let you wireless charge stuff. And this stand, it has a cutout, so it embeds inside of it. So it's like totally flat because it's got a little cutout. And you can put your Android device or HTC or whatever that has Qi charging, or use one of our little Qi add-on pluggy things for iPhone, for example, lightning connector. So you can make a charging station, you put it on the stand, and it automatically starts charging.
Next up, this is the Adafruit multiplex breakout.
Yeah, this is our breakout for this week. This is a very handy device. It's been requested by many people. This is a breakout that allows you to connect 8 I2C buses to one. It's a multiplexer specifically for I2C, so you can have, like for example, if you have 2 devices with the same address on I2C, you can't talk to both of them, which is a problem because some devices only have a fixed address. You can't change it. So with this, you can have up to 8 of those connected on a single breakout, and this will, by sending a little command, it will let you route the I2C commands to any of them, and it's very easy to use, and it's compatible with all the existing libraries. You don't have to write any different code. Just before you start your library, you have to just tell it, like, switch direction to this. It's a very smart little breakout. Just show you how to use it in this tool.
Okay. Just a reminder, the code is not a bomb.
Not a bomb.
Not a bomb.
Not a bomb.
That gets 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to do a different type of wireless segment this week. Wearable segment this week. I normally show a video or some type of projects. This week I'm going to show in advance a product we're going to sell. So this is the Leatherman Tread. This just came in. We're going to be stocking it. It's basically a tool that's on your wrist. I have one I'm wearing right now. And it has all the tools that you might need on the go.
Do you want to show the overhead?
Yeah, we're going to go to the overhead. So I'm going to pop by. So let's go over here. All right, so I'll wheel over. So you can change the number of links that are on there to have it fit on your wrist. So I already had done that. And it comes off. And now you have different tools. So if you needed a screwdriver, you would do that. If you needed a different type of hex or Allen, it has a few of these different bolt.
Yeah, it has wrenches inside.
Yeah.
And then
it has different bolt sizes.
And then it has like a cutter.
Yeah, and this is like a little box cutter thing. And then it has a bottle opener.
Oh, that's handy.
So
that's like the latch.
Yeah, and so once you're finished doing your tasks and tools, that's when you put it back on. And so it's pretty neat. So far, so good.
And these are made in Portland, I think, right?
I believe they are. And we'll see. I've been using it. I like it. I've been wearing it for a full day.
Oh my goodness! I just told you.
Yeah, please don't open the box. Open the box.
No, I'll pick it up. I'll pick it up. I got it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Got it.
All right.
Sorry, I broke everything. No, the links are still in here.
Yeah, but there was about a dozen screws.
They're still in here.
Yeah, they are? Okay, good. All right, anyways. We'll look for all the parts later. So when you take off the links and stuff, you can save them and put them in a spot that you can...
Yeah, you don't need like gigantic wrenches. And
you use a penny to undo the pieces. So
these are beautiful.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Amazing machining, like.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna have these in the store soon. We've been a Leatherman reseller for a really long time.
Yeah.
And can you watch that there?
Watch it.
So we'll have those in the store. That's a coming soon, I guess you could say. All right.
Okay.
Let's keep moving along.
Wearables.
Yeah. So today we actually had our broadcast computer die. And I'm on a new one right now. So wearables got postponed. It'll be on next week, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern. We've been doing that for 2 years. Life and show business. Sometimes the shows.
I think we swapped the chairs.
What?
I think we swapped the chairs.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. Next up, 3D printing. Every week, Noah and Pedro come up with a really cool project. This week, a charger.
Hi, you're watching Adafruit on YouTube. My name is Noah, and this is the show about 3D printing and DIY electronics. Today we're making a 3D printed stand for wirelessly charging your phone and a tablet. This is a simple Qi wireless charging transmitter. It works with the standard Qi charging receivers and smartphones with built-in wireless Qi charging. We designed this simple stand to be just one part with standoffs on the back to mount the board. This is a Qi receiver module for the iPhone 6 Plus. You can stick it on the back and plug it into the lightning connector to make it work with wireless Qi chargers. It's really thin so it'll still fit in your phone's case. You can get both the transmitter and the receiver to make your own wireless charging projects. We designed the stand in Fusion 360 and sized it for an iPhone 6 Plus and a Nexus 7 tablet. The files are public so you can make this stand fit any other device. We think it's an easy project that'll help you learn more about the design process. The best orientation to print this part is on its side. The part will fit on most FDM 3D printers, and it works with or without support material. We can temporarily desolder the wires from the base to hide them behind the stand. Be sure to check out the full tutorial linked below for project details. Using tweezers, we can carefully thread the wires through the hole in the stand. The front side has a recessed cutout for the charging base, and it sits nicely flush with the surface of the stand. We used M3 Phillips machine screws to mount the transmitter PCB to the 4 standoffs on the back of the stand. To power the transmitter, you just connect the board to a 5-volt power supply using micro USB. Now we can wirelessly charge our phones while they lounge. Also, I must ask you to check out this project if you're looking to wirelessly charge an Apple Watch. So there you have it, a nice and easy way to 3D print a stand for your wireless Qi charger. So if you've made any projects for wireless charging, let us know in the comments and we'll share it on our Adafruit blog. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram to see work in progress, but until then, thanks so much for watching and be sure to subscribe for more projects from Adafruit. I'll see you guys next week.
And don't forget, tomorrow at 3 p.m., 3D Thursday Hangouts with Noah and Pedro, the longest running, best and only 3D printing show online. All right, there'll also be a Maker Faire, by the way.
Oh yeah, they got a plan.
They will be there. Woo,
They'll be covering all the 3D printers, all 500 of them.
Maker Faire.
What was that?
Maker Faire. Yeah, so it's now time for us to do new products, but before that, Not a Bomb's code, 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, except for software and gift certificates. Lady, it is time.
Okay, I'm ready.
New products.
It's not too intense today.
Yeah, it is time.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, so new products. Filament.
Okay, yeah, this is Semi-Flex from Ninja Flex. So this is a flexible, translucent clear material. So it's not the most rubbery, but it is flexible. You can't use it with Bowden drive, so just check that out. But most 3D printers are okay with this. I think only the Ultimaker right now is a printer we can't carry it. But it's a flexible material and it's kind of gummy, so when you print with it, the resulting thing will be flexible and movable. Great for wearables. This is translucent, so it will also diffuse LEDs and neopixels and stuff, so that could be super handy. This is the water, which is basically translucent. 1.75 millimeter, you get half a kilogram. It's a lot, and it's handy, and we like Ninja Flex and Semi-Flex, so check it out. And there's some tech specs in the product page about like the durometer hardness and all that good stuff.
Durometer?
Durometer.
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 Andromeda?
Andromeda strain.
It's a good movie. Okay, next up. Headers. You want headers, right?
Yep.
Do you want headers? Okay.
These are.
I don't know. There's headers.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready. This is a 2x20 surface mount extra tall header. We have a bunch of these left over. We've used these for our Raspberry Pi hats that are like they're large. They're not like hat shaped. They're just like the full size of the Raspberry Pi. So this connector plugs into a Raspberry Pi model B+ or 2 when it has the long header style, and it's surface mount. So you can get the full top of it available. You don't have any through-hole parts. It might be handy for people who want to make hats that are tall enough that when you put this on, the PCB will clear the USB jacks. Basically, that's exactly how tall these are. So we have a bunch left over. We put them in the shop. So enjoy.
I like these, and one of the things I like about them because they're smart. And
okay, they're not. I mean, like they're just headers. There's no electronics involved here.
No, they're smart because you can design things that normally would require something like a selective solder machine, but instead you can use surface mount headers.
Yeah.
And headers don't necessarily have to always be hand soldered or selective solder machine.
Through-hole. I mean, these are surface mount. They're not going to be as strong as through-hole, but with 40 pads, they're
really strong.
Pretty strong. Like
yeah.
I've never had anybody have a Pi TFT where they yanked the header off or it cracked off. As long as you're using a pretty good PCB manufacturer that doesn't delaminate, you should be good to go. And yeah, you can check these out on our 3.5 inch and 3.2 inch Pi TFTs, the ones where the TFT itself is really big. It's about the size of the Pi. You would not be able to have headers come out because they would short against the TFT,
Yeah.
so that's why we use service mount headers.
Okay.
The TFT file.
Anyways, I think they're cool. Okay, this is a new product. We just put this in. Woo!
This is the Esquilo. I hope that's how you say it. This is kind of interesting. So
Esquilo.
we do get like 5,000. Wait, that's the new board.
I know. I'm just-
Preview. We get a lot of requests all the time to carry dev boards, and I'm always kind of like, well, you know, like there's tons of dev boards. But this one I think was interesting. It's got a Cortex M4, and it has this Broadcom Wicked module over here that does Wi-Fi. It's the SN800. Sure. Can you zoom in a little bit?
Sure.
I know you have that ability.
I can absolutely zoom in.
Oh, that's great. Perfect.
Like
yeah.
that?
Stop.
Okay.
Okay.
Bing, 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 bing.
Make it so.
Computer, zoom in.
Okay, so it's got this Wi-Fi module over here. This is an SN800, so it's got this FCC module. It's got a Freescale Cortex M4 over here. It's MK84. It's like a 1 mega flash or something ridiculous. MicroSD card slot. If you want to have MicroSD, it's not required, but if you want to store stuff. Micro USB connector for programming and power, and is also a buck converter with a 6 to 17 volt regulator, and some LEDs and stuff. And it's kind of like the Arduino headers, whatever. I don't, whatever it is. It's not Arduino compatible, but what's interesting about this is that it has a web ID that is hosted on the Cortex M4. So it actually, to program it, you can actually connect to it over the web. And so you can do that with a Big Blue Black or Raspberry Pi because it's running Linux, and so you just like run a web server. What I thought was interesting about this is that it's an embedded processor, so it's low power, it's very fast. You don't have to worry about Linux and like corruption of your file system, like micro SD cards, all that good stuff. You can definitely battery power this if you wanted to. But it has this like very powerful web programming interface, and I thought that was kind of neat. That's it. I haven't actually played with it. I've checked it out. It seems kind of cool. This is kind of for like advanced developers. Try it out. Let us know how it goes. I was willing to take a risk on this because it seemed like an interesting enough idea that I was like, hey, yeah, we'll carry this in the shop. And I think for people who are interested in Internet of Things, this could be a very fast and new way to do it. It's not an Arduino, it's not a Raspberry Pi, it's kind of in the middle.
Okay, in the middle.
In the middle.
All right, tonight, the star of the show, besides you, is Breakout.
It's the TCA9548A from Texas Instruments. It's an I2C expander. We kind of needed this for a while, and I finally got around to making a breakout for it because people have always asked us, like, hey, I want to connect like 8 BMP 085 or like accelerometer or whatever. They want to connect a whole bunch of an I2C sensor to one Arduino, and the problem is that there's a collision with the I2C addresses. As you may know, I2C allows you to connect up to 127 devices using 2 wires, which is really great. You can connect an accelerometer and a magnetometer and a light sensor and all that stuff, but only if they have unique addresses. Now, sometimes you can set the address of a device with jumpers or by pulling a pin or whatever, but oftentimes, especially for basic sensors that don't have a lot of pins on them, it's a fixed address. So you're like, oh man, what am I going to do? I have like a fixed address for this humidity sensor or something, but I want to have multiple humidity sensors. In that case, you can use something like this, which is an I2C expander. So on the left, there is an I2C port, and you connect that to your Arduino. And on the right and then the bottom left, there are 8 sets of data clock pins. So it's like 16 pins total, 8 clocks, 8 data, labeled 0 through 7 ports. And what you can do is through I2C, before you start trying to read one of the devices, you send a special command that says, switch the I2C bus to port 0 or port 3 or port 5. And then you can continue as transparently as if there was nothing in between. It completely transparently routes all your messages back and forth. The only thing is, of course, you can't connect an I2C device that uses the same address as this expander, which is OX70, but you can select the address of the expander to OX70 to 77
Because the expander
hex.
takes up an address.
It takes up an address, so you can't use that address, but you can switch it to one of 8.
So once you know that, but then you can go
But then
to...
you can route to anything.
Okay.
So basically you lose one address, which is...
But you gain so much.
You choose 070 through hex 77, one of those, you can short jumpers on the back of it to set the address. But once you set that address, you can then have 8 ports. So go to the overhead and I can show it, or I can show it in the photo.
Time to go to the overhead.
And I'll just show this. So for example, here I've got this I2C expander, and I've got a compass sensor, and I've got a compass sensor. And these have a fixed address of OX1A. And so what I do is I power both, so both are powered from 5 volts, that's normal. And then I connect the clock and data, one of these to clock and data port 6, and I connect the other one to clock and data port 2. So you see these are connected to different ports. And then the main port over here, which is like the master port, connects to the Arduino. And then if you look at the code, all I do is before I initialize each one of these, I just say, hey, TCA, switch the address port, switch the I2C port to 6 or to 2, and then you can transparently use any libraries. You don't have to change your library code or anything. Just before you try to talk to anything over I2C, you just have to tell the multiplexer switch which one you want. So it's actually a pretty nice multiplexer, easy to use, and yeah, like if you have 8 of something or even more, because you can put multiples of these on. You can have up to 8 of these, because you can have one on each address, 70 hex through 77 hex. So you can have up to 64 of the same address item on one I2C port, as long as you just send that command to tell it to switch, and you just get them right.
I have a feeling you're going to be using this for something soon.
It's handy.
Yeah. Okay, good work, Lady Ada. And with that is new products. Yay! All right, everyone, don't forget the code tonight is not a bomb. All items in the store that are not bombs are 10% off, and needed for store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, everything but software and EagleCAD, which also aren't bombs. EagleCAD software and gift certificates. Okay, we have a special treat for all of you tonight. We are going to do everyone's favorite segment. We get asked all this all the time, but we call it, it's not out yet, don't ask. It is top secret from the vault of Lady Ada.
Vault.
Yeah, so you have a secret project you're going to show.
Yes.
Okay, so this is it, world premiere. Take it away.
Okay. Do you want to go to the overhead, or?
I don't know. We're in uncharted
You don't know?
territory.
Okay, go to the overhead.
Okay. It's so secret we can't show it.
So I've been working on a project. So a lot of people may be aware that I know I'm getting there.
Yeah. It's an arm.
It's an arm.
Yeah.
It's my arm. So I have the Bluefruit Micro. So this is the Bluefruit Micro V2. The Bluefruit Micro is a design that I came out with like a month ago, which has our Bluetooth Low Energy module, an ATmega32U4, and micro USB, and it's kind of in this shape. Actually became really popular. People really like it because they're like, oh, I want like basically an Arduino compatible, like a Leonardo compatible or micro compatible, with a Bluetooth Low Energy module all in one, ready to go, and you can add the LiPoly backpack. So I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, you know what? I really want to redesign this to actually add the LiPo charging built in. So I designed this board, which is basically like, I basically turned the QFP to a QFN. So this is a QFN32U4, and it has the battery port on the side here. And I was doing this, and I was like, and then I was thinking like, oh, I really wanted to make a data logger version as well. And so what I did is EagleCAD just removed this and replaced it with a micro SD board card holder, and it's basically the same layout, micro USB, and got the battery charging 32U4. And then I just removed this, and then the pins that would be used for this, I used, for the micro USB, and then I was like, or micro SD, and then I was thinking like, well, it's actually a pretty good layout because you've got the USB microcontroller. Right now it's a 32U4, but maybe I can upgrade that to the ATSAM21D, which is the 0 microcontroller. And I was like, actually, it was like, okay, this is a good layout, but like maybe I can make more boards that are in the same layout. So I was like, oh, you know what? I really wanted to make a version that's like basically the same idea, except it's a little bit longer, and it has the Fona module in it. So it's a SIM 800 cell phone module. On the bottom, you have a little like SD SIM card holder, and get that SIM card back in.
So I can ask questions, but no one else can. Do you have a name for this group of products?
Well, right now, I think we're going to call them the Feather group of modules, and each one basically has the same pinout. It can be a little bit longer, but like this section is all the same. And the pinout is the same. And then what's neat is that because all of them have the same pinout, we can do things like create like little mini shields. So like, for example, this is a prototype for a GPS shield. So there's a GPS module and a little coin cell. And so like if you put this on top of the micro SD version, it becomes like a GPS data logger that you can just power over like a LiPo battery and then recharge and reprogram over the micro USB. So like, we'll be logging data to here. And then if you wanted, you could also put this on top of the cell phone. Hold on. We could put this on top of the cell phone version, and then, which I didn't solder with stacking headers, but you can imagine like, okay, it's got stacking headers. And you put this on top, and now you have like an asset tracker, has a GPS and cell phone. It can send SMSs and stuff.
Oh, we showed a logo of a product called the Adalogger. Does this have something to do with that?
The Adalogger is basically what this is. This is what became the Adalogger. And then have a proto shield. So you can have like a little prototyping area on top so you can prototype circuits. Or like an OLED or like a real-time clock or like a couple other different add-ons. Because I've seen there's like, add-ons, little mini, like Arduinos, basically like teeny circuits, but they're always like there's so little on each board. They have to stack like 5 of them to get anywhere. So what I like about this is like the base board, it's a little bit larger, but it's breadboard friendly. Like you can plug into a breadboard and it has charging built in and it has the USB microcontroller. So you can it's ready to go. You don't have to stack like 3 of them just to like be able to do something. And
put a wing on it because it's feather.
Yeah, it's got little wings.
Oh. It's like we thought about this for a while.
For at least 2 weeks. So I'm going to come up with a couple of them. Right now, the only ones I have are the data logger, the cell phone, the data logger,
Adalogger,
the Bluetooth Low Energy, the cellular, and then I'm going to do one that's Wi-Fi, probably one with the ESP8266, and then I'm also working on one with Wicked, but that won't have a Atmega 32. It's a little complicated because there's a parser inside of it. So, but I want to standardize on having this pinout because then I can actually create like add-ons that you can stack. So you can, if you want to make a portable battery-powered data logger or something, you can do this without having to get a full Arduino and like a shield and a battery. Like it gets very complicated very fast.
Low cost and high quality and feather. So when people see the name, they'll know all the stuff works together. And then we have Adalogger coming out, and then this has familiar favorites like Bluefruits and Ultimate GPS and all the different pieces. We do have a cool thing to announce soon that we're going to be doing. We get the approval to have Wicked on the board too.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so that is everyone's favorite. I can't believe you showed all this stuff. Oops.
Oops. What?
Yeah. Oops. Yeah. So, anyways, that was top secret. Okay. Yay. All right. So, Lady Ada, it is time for questions. People, type your questions in the chat room. We're going to answer them. It's asking an engineer.
But not about the things I just showed.
Yeah, it can't be that. Okay. The question that came up a couple times is, in all seriousness, what are some good clock kits for people to build?
There's actually a lot. So we have like 2 or 3 clock kits in the store. I think the Ice Tube clock is over, but we have the Monocron clock, which is very customizable. You can build your own with one of our large 7-segment displays like Tony DeCola showed off. I think we have another like a Zandri clock. We have a couple clock kits. I just don't remember all of them. We have the Times Square watch.
Yeah.
Got that for
We're going to
sure.
be giving that away for the trivia contest tonight. Yeah.
Okay, great.
It's like a little portable clock that can get you in
On your
trouble.
wrist.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So someone wanted to know, do you know the frequency of the charger? The Qi, is it 13.56 megahertz?
Ooh, I do not remember.
Okay.
It is whatever the TI standard is. So
Okay.
you can look up on Texas Instruments website, but I don't remember the frequency.
Yeah. Tony DeCola just mentioned one of my favorite clocks, the bulb dial clock from Evil Mad Scientist Laboratories.
Oh, that's right. We have the bulb clock.
We have that in stock, and that's one of my favorite ones.
Yep.
Ice Tube clock is going to be discontinued. We're actually out of tubes.
I have to redesign it. I'm going to get a VFD and design it again. And it will not be as cool looking, but I think I will design it a little bit better because it's been a while.
Yeah.
That was an early design. That was before making things Arduino compatible was a thing. Like I wrote it in AVR GCC. Turns out that that's not a great idea. Because people were like, I want to reprogram it. And I'm like, well, get your like AVR Dragon and compile like the code and open it up in the editor. And they're like, how do I do this with Arduino? And I was like, that wasn't really around. So,
okay, is it possible to combine a serial TTL camera plus Sonar plus Arduino and send captured images of the internet? That's hard.
A serial camera to send you can.
Yeah.
What you'll need to do is store the image onto an SD card in between, and then stream that data onto a server. Which that I don't know, but we do have HTTP support, so I think you can do it in a post maybe.
A little tricky.
Yeah, I mean you can do it. I just don't. I mean, it's not like you could send it as an SMS because it's a JPEG.
Can't do that.
You have to send it.
Okay.
On the way.
Easiest way to transmit data from an Arduino to Arduino.
There's actually, if it's not wireless, there's a couple projects about doing I2C slave and master, and I've seen a lot of people use that, so that works pretty well. You connect SCL and SDA together, and I've seen it. I don't remember who wrote it, but there's like the I2C master slave connection.
Two Bluefruits.
No, Bluefruits can't do point to point.
Yeah.
You can use XBs.
Yeah, two XBs.
That's for Wi-Fi. XB will work well.
Okay. Next up, I'll answer this one. Will Adafruit do any computer security-based projects that involve microcontrollers? Probably not, and I'll say why. Because export control is crazy, and as soon as you start doing security and encryption and everything, it gets messy.
Also, a lot of other people doing it.
Yeah, and plus, people have that covered.
I don't
It's covered. Next up, does the phone of 3G have 3G GPRS working?
Oh, it absolutely works. We just don't have code for it.
Write some code.
If you read the data sheet, you can read all about it. I mean, it definitely has GPRS. It's just not as easy to use as the 2G. It's an older, slightly crummier chipset. But it has 3G connectivity, which is what everybody wanted. So we got it.
Is the Arduino micro going to be available in the future? Yes. From us. Yes. Okay. Next up. Wave soldering setup. As soon as it's up and running and we can do a video tour, we'll do it. Things take time. We have our build out done. Okay, next up. Is there a ESP8266 Arduino IDE compatible library for the NeoPixels, basically?
The WS2801. Yeah, 2801s are not NeoPixels.
Sorry, they're
those are the 2812s. I do not know.
Okay.
I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't work because it's SPI. It's not the clock timing is not important, so it should work okay. I just don't have example code for it.
Last question. Why do we have a center pole negative and center pole positive as barrel power connector choices? Is there a reason to choose one over the other in a design?
You want to go with center positive, which is basically the standard. Center negative is an old design. I don't know why, but it was just like, it didn't really matter, so people chose one or the other. Center negative is often used for, I see like audio projects tend to use it, and guitar pedals tend to use center negative. I think it's because there's a switch that they use they use a switch on or whatever. But I wouldn't recommend it if you get to choose, do center positive. It'll match 99% of power adapters out there.
Okay, and with that is the questions of the night. Thank you, everyone.
Yay.
Zoom. Okay, we're gonna do the trivia question. Lady Ada, what are the rules for the trivia question?
Rules are, if you've won something from this show, you can't win again. Only one winner per my lifetime. So sit on your hands if you won something. We want to give everybody a chance. Today's prize is...
this is what I thought we'd give away. I thought we'd give away the Times Square watch kit.
Okay, Times Square watch kit.
Red.
In red.
Yeah, Times Square watch kit in red.
We have it in stock. It's in color.
Yep.
It's a lovely little watch kit, DIY, build your own watch.
It's like a clock for your wrist.
It's like a clock for your wrist. And the first person to answer the chat in YouTube or Ustream, the way Phil wants the answer, is the winner. What is the question?
The question tonight's going to be pretty easy. What is the young person's name, a 9th grader from Irvington, Texas, who ran into some issues today, but it looks like it's going to work out? What is his name? He built a clock, brought it to school, got in a little bit of a jam. What's his name? So I'm going to be looking at the YouTube chat. And
do you want full name, first and last?
Just first name's fine with me.
First name? Okay.
Totally fine. So, here we go. In the YouTube chat, Ep Park Flyer. Ep Park Flyer, a little bike thing. Ep Park Flyer, congratulations. Ahmed is it.
Ep Park Flyer.
Ep Park Flyer, congrats. You got it. So, Ep Park flyer, Park flyer, email support@adafruit.com. Tell them that you won. This will help us. The Times Square DIY watch kit, the product ID is 1106.
1106.
1106.
The magic
1106.
word is 1106.
1106.
That's
Okay.
what you got.
That is our show for the evening. Thank you, everyone,
Stay out of trouble.
so much.
Or get in trouble.
Yeah, it's okay if you get in trouble. You got in trouble, it worked out for you. Not a Bomb's a code. It's 10% off all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Thank you so much for supporting Adafruit. This is how we do it. No sponsors, no ads, no venture capital, no loans, no nothing. It's just you guys out there helping us keep this thing going on. Thank you everyone out there who is tweeting and sending nice notes today. A couple meanies out there, but don't worry about it. They're gonna die alone. And
Later, haters.
whatever. You have a cool pen. We'll have to show that off one day.
I had to sharpen my pen. I keep forgetting. Should I take that home?
You should always have it with you. I gave Lady Ada a nice engraved pen. It was cool. Anyways.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
And we'll see everybody next week. Special show. Eric Pan from Seed Studio.
If you have questions, should they post them in the thingy?
You can get them to us. It's all good. You can post them anywhere. We see all.
If you have special questions?
Yeah, and happy Maker Fair, everyone. We'll see some of you in a week or so.
Open Source Hardware Conference.
Yeah.
It's a party.
Tis the season. So thank you very much. Here's a picture of a cat. We'll see everybody next week on Ask an Engineer and Show and Tell. And here is your moment of Zener.